And then I am proceeded to reverse all kill Slayers, which was like, yeah, Dark beat MC, and then Younghwa came out and just killed everyone.
Hey,
so.
it's cool, man.
Younghwa, one of the best pro tosses, I think, still undiscovered, but it's okay because Dark is also another Zerg in that very same category. Dark, of course, your green Zerg in the bottom left corner from Team Slayers. And has a 100% win rate in ZVZ, at least in terms of recorded official games. 100% win rate. Wow.
Yeah,
but his ZVP has been looking pretty shaky because he lost in the first week, which he lost to Alicia, which is nothing to be ashamed of. He lost to some pretty good players. But now he's playing against Lowely, who is the top left corner from Team FXO, FXO Europe. And Lowely showed CVZ that was a little bit shaky. Remember when he played Violet in the first week and
I
just
remember all
he got
of his
stomped.
ZVZs. Actually, in Season 2 and Season 3, all he did in his ZVZs was 15 hatch, 14 pool, 13 gas, all in speed lane. He'd throw in some banelings here and there.
Yeah, but I think now Lowely's really developed.
It's progressed a little bit.
Yeah, it's yeah, maybe he gets to pool a little bit earlier. We saw like some early pool banelings from Lowely in the past as well. But what kind of style do you like seeing out of Lowely? Because he is going for a hatchery first here.
You know, it's kind of hard to tell. I mean, a lot of styles actually work, especially on Entombed Valley, where I think there's a lot of room to do early aggression. I do like Zergling Baneling in the beginning stage just to apply a lot of pressure. Just make sure your opponents aren't playing too greedy. But we know Lowely, not only does he like to do that, he likes the other side of the coin as well, which is to tech pretty viciously. We've seen him do that in his ZVPs. I don't think he'll do that here. Zergling Baneling seems to be the go-to on Entombed Valley, but thanks to Mr. Bitter, I'm actually able to say that Koreans versus foreigners on Entombed Valley don't bode well for foreigners. Just a fun little fact, the only map where it's even is Daybreak. Everything else, every other map besides Muspelheim, is either 80% or above
for Koreans.
Win rate for Koreans.
So you're saying Koreans win 4 out of every 5 maps?
Correct.
That is not Daybreak.
Not Daybreak or Muspelheim. It's funny, Koreans actually have a 17% win rate on Muspelheim against foreigners.
To be fair, Muspelheim has some of the craziest wacky games that we've seen. If you think of Alive versus Masa is just a prime example. But then you think about awesome games like DRG versus Poland. I can forgive all the craziness. And that brings us to Entombed Valley, a map that also has seen a little bit of instability of ZVZ still, just because the ramp is very wide, and even if you do, it's very difficult to kind of protect your hatchery while protecting your ramp simultaneously, because it is a little bit farther out, and you can kind of like pick off, you can like, stand a little bit on the farther side by the rocks to avoid while you can kind of pile on banelings and whatnot. So you can see that Lowely is going for very early defensive baneling nest as a result.
So the very big standard. There's a couple of alterations that you could have done to actually go around the baneling nest. You could put down a spine crawler in an evolution chamber. I've seen that style, I shouldn't say work, but I've seen it usable. It's plausible. Definitely on this map, you just get a very fast +1. It's either melee or carapace, and you can actually do a lot of Zergling baneling pressure directly after that. But I think this is the more standard way. This doesn't really open you up to any potential timings. That's why we see the banelings. I mean, if you have banelings and your opponent doesn't, chances are the person with banelings are going to do more damage. So that's why both these players are really pushing the baneling nest out as fast as possible.
Nice scout here from Lowely. He sees the baneling nest and sees everything. He even keeps the Zergling alive. Nice. Oh, no, he does not keep it alive.
No.
I cursed it, man.
How dare you?
I cursed that Zergling. And it's always really fun because it's always like, whenever I'm playing StarCraft, I always assume like, oh, okay, I should be able to have my probe or my SUV stay alive. And every time I think that, Andre, it always does.
I'm sorry. You gotta stop thinking that.
I know.
It's like, oh, my SUV's dead.
I want it too badly, Andre. I'm too clingy. Just ask any of my ex-girlfriends, man.
Gosh.
That is not true for any girls that are listening and like, oh, I'm striking Frodan from the list. Like,
no.
I was just joking, man.
Frodan,
I didn't mean
I know
it.
you're not. You're
Thank you, Andre. Your validation means a lot.
I know.
So I want to ask you, where does Dark go from? Or sorry, where does Lowely go from here? Because Dark is making a lot of Zerglings and banelings, and is this wall off going to be good enough for him to defend?
I think he'll be okay. A couple of Zerglings are on the way out. You can see the power of defensive banelings plus queens and spine crawlers. The spine crawler and the 2 queens just give him the ability to defend a little bit better. But here we go. A lot of aggression's coming in right now. And Lowely needs to get some good shots.
Well, the banelings kind of die on the middle of the ramp, but they weaken the queens, and as a result, Dark has free reign over the natural expansion. We're talking about how difficult it is to kind of hold this ramp because it's so wide. Oh, a huge explosion, and a line of drones disappear from the face of Entombed Valley, and the banelings that do hatch from Lowely do trade. But, I mean, Dark's still got plenty left over, and there's still lots of pressure incoming.
Ugh. Baneling is going to explode on a lot of the drones. That makes him very weak, so there's a target for Dark to actually go up into the main base. Oh, more Banelings coming in here.
The drones are so soft, and any detonation at this point just really kills anything. GG. And you know what was so crazy was Lowely was up by like double the work count of Dark. It was like in the 40s. And Dark just committed straight into Zergling Baneling. And that's kind of what Entombed Valley is, and that's why we were alluding to of defending early, and that's the risk Lowely took. And it's so funny, because you're saying before that Lowely's the one who used to do that, like all in, really quick.
But he chose to tech pretty fast, and on Entombed Valley, you have to kind of go slower. Go a lot slower, or else you're going to be a lot more prone to those all-in attacks. In that game in particular, as you said, the droning for a very long time is what killed Lowely, and on top of that, he just didn't have enough because he was teching so fast, so he wasn't able to make those banelings as fast because 100 gas was going to the lair. And that might seem small, but 4 banelings can definitely be the difference between winning that game and losing that game.
Yeah.
And as you can see, he did lose that.
Yeah, and the wall off is tough, and as a result, Lowely's defense fell just a little bit short of being able to hold. But if he did, I mean, the game would have been absolutely his.
That's right.
Game number 1 was brought to you by Audible. For a special offer and download a bestseller and listen to it, visit nasl.tv/p/audible for a limited time special offer. Do that while we take a quick break and get ready for game number 2 between Lowely and Dark. Find out what happens right after this.